Crazy touch, blazing speed, powerful finishing. What makes an attacker the best in the world? Kylian Mbappe is a combination of all these things, and despite having a slow start to the year, clearly he is still the best player in the world post Messi and Ronaldo. But after him, there is a massive logjam for the second best attacker in the world. There are many factors: stats, eye test, statistics, match rating, advanced stats, team support, league quality, etc. The most important, I would say, though, are eye test, advanced stats, and team support. The two that I think are the most overlooked are the eye test and team support, and we will be discussing that in this video. In today's day and age, most people watch TikTok clips and YouTube highlights, and they check the stats of their favorite players. Every video, if you watch a game highlight on YouTube, you'll see a comment bashing a losing team's player, saying they're the problem with 1,000 likes because that highlight video had a highlight of their mistake. And the winning team saying their goal scorer is pure class with 1,000 likes. But if you actually watch the game, you'll see that one mistake player was class and the goal scorer missed 10 other chances. Watching this football season, there is one player who has, to me, slightly separated himself in the quote-unquote behind Mbappe attacker category. And the main reason he has separated himself is the eye test and team support category. This player has done the most with the least amount of world-class teammates and has elevated his team the most in table position of any top attacker in the world. He plays in the Premier League, and after his most recent performance against Arsenal, he had this to say.
I'm the best striker in the world right now. Forget Erling Haaland. He only scored tap-ins, that tap-in merchant. And tonight I cooked Arsenal just like I expected. Their defense is very overrated. I cooked those two frauds, Gabriel and Saliba. They can't keep up with my pace.
Okay, so obviously that clip was AI, but still, I love the fictional confidence. Yes, the man who I believe is the second best attacker in the world at the moment is Alexander Isak. Now first, let's talk about his main competitors for being the second best attacker behind Mbappe. The number one player, of course, everyone is going to mention is Mohamed Salah. Without a doubt, he is having a monster season statistically. Another top candidate is Rafinha. He has helped Barca look like a true treble candidate this year. Then you have Ousmane Dembele, who has surged up the rankings in the last few months. Then finally, you have Vinny Jr., who infamously finished second in the Ballon d'Or last year to Rodri, with Real Madrid, of course, boycotting the ceremony. Now, with statistics, it's almost a wash between these four, with Isak actually even finishing slightly behind all of them, except for Vinny. The advanced metrics and league quality is all relatively equal, with only Dembele playing against slightly worse competition. To me, the Primera has the best top-end teams. The Premier League is the toughest overall with its 1 through 17 depth. And League One, where Dembele plays, has a competitive top four most years, but definitely not this year, and not the greatest depth. So really, to me, attackers who play in the Premier League will have the toughest time putting up stats, with the Primera being in the middle in League One, where Dembele plays, would theoretically you'd be able to put up really good stats feasting against the weaker competition. And none of this to slight the Bundesliga and the Italian leagues, which of course also have great attackers, but players like Harry Kane fall just slightly behind these other players this year. So for league quality, I give a slight edge to Mo Salah and Isak over Rafinha, Vinny, and Dembele. While I was researching this video, like I said, I formed my opinion about Isak from watching this season in the eye test, but as I was doing my research, I found this interesting website called footballcritic.com. Shout out to them. It's a really cool website. I'll link their website in the description so you can support them and also look for yourself. They have an algorithm that factors in quality of goals scored, or they call it great goals, match ratings, player form ratings, which is based on their last 20 matches, and team form rankings. They have an overall ranking and an attacker rating, which unfortunately doesn't include players who play a lot of winger like Dembele and Salah like I do in this video. But it still is interesting to see where Isak might rank in their list. On the list, which includes all positions, he comes in tied in a 99 rating with Salah, Dembele, Rafinha, Florian Wirtz, and Saka. Pretty special company. On the attacker list, which again doesn't include players who play a vast majority of their minutes at winger, he comes in tied for first with none other than Kylian Mbappe. With stats, it's mostly a wash between Salah, Rafinha, and Dembele, with Salah edging them out in goal contributions due to his 22 assists. Isak falls slightly behind the others, but as we will discuss later, because of his team support, he has only taken 2 penalties this year compared to Salah's 9. And he is often isolated up front by himself, especially when Newcastle plays against top teams. Now to the eye test. Here's what some pundits are saying about Isak's play this season.
For me, he's the best all-round striker in world football at the moment. I know it's a massive statement to make. There is nothing that this guy can't do. He can come short, he can run in behind, he can link the play, he's a goal threat, he's got pace, he's got power, and he's got that intelligence. If he's not involved in the game, he goes to the left, he goes to the right. He's just a really, really good player. And when you have a player like that, it's very difficult for the top teams now to come and get him, because it's going to cost at least 150 million to come and get him. And Newcastle's future solely depends on how well he continues to perform.
He almost always gives Van Dijk, Saliba, Gabriel, the best center backs in the league. Some would say they're some of the best center backs in the world. He consistently gives them issues. I've watched them now in the Carabao Cup semi-finals against Arsenal, watched them against Liverpool in the league earlier when they drew 3-3 at St. James's Park. He gives these guys issues. And these are center backs that, for the most part, almost feel unfazed during games. And I think that's saying a lot, right? Oftentimes he's being compared to Erling Haaland, who's obviously a much different kind of striker. And the pure volume of goals that Erling Haaland provides you over 38 games is just ridiculous. And until I see Isak do that, that's obviously something Haaland has in his favor. But in terms of being a 90-minute threat, being able to drift out wide, being able to take players on, being more of a playmaker, being able to hold up the ball at a high level against these guys, I don't think there's a striker in the league that does it at the level Isak's doing right now.
As you can see, they make a compelling point, and while underrated, he has clearly won some believers besides just me. Hopefully at the end of this video, you will as well. Certainly as a pure striker, I think the only players who can compete with him currently are Erling Haaland, Harry Kane, and Robert Lewandowski. And with Harry and Rob getting on in years, he will be duking it out with Erling Haaland for that title for the next 5 years. Now for me, watching Newcastle's games this season, there are several qualities that he has that I believe make him the most complete attacker in the world after Mbappe. First, when you watch him, he's an extremely crafty dribble in the box. You don't see tons of tricks or jukes, but many brilliant, subtle touches that set him up for clean contact in the shot. Many strikers, like Darwin Núñez, who get criticized for blowing open chances, their shooting is excellent, but their footwork and dribble to set up their body for a clean shot lets them down. Another attribute he has that sets him apart is his headers. He's not the best header in the world of strikers, but at 6'4", he has become the best heading goal scorer of the attacking players we've discussed in this video. This header famously made Newcastle legend Alan Shearer lose his mind.
Yes! What a goal that is! What a cross! What a cross! That was a cross from the 90s!
The third attribute that really sets him apart is his second best ability, in my opinion, his finishing. Nobody in the world is cooler in the box except maybe Lewandowski. This man has so many deft touches and clever finishes, but can mix in power when needed. With my favorite goal from him this season coming against Liverpool right here. Brilliant touch to get it out of his feet, and what a strike, and in a huge game too. But his best attribute, which is so often overlooked by casual fans, is intelligence of the timing and direction of his runs. This man is like Barry Bonds, sometimes only getting 1 or 2 pitches a game against good teams. He is rarely caught off sides like the aforementioned Núñez. Sorry, he keeps catching strays in this video. He and Anthony Gordon and Bruno Guimaraes have developed a great chemistry with their interplay, and while those two are his best teammates, it's Isak who's providing most of the genius. He knows how to set defenders up, catch them, and to put them away. Even getting the better at times of arguably the best 3 center backs in the league in Virgil van Dijk, Gabriel, and William Saliba. Shout out to my boy Murillo from Forest, future video upcoming on him, even though he just got cooked against Argentina. Now, on to the last factor that I believe really sets him apart from the others, team quality. Here's a screenshot of Newcastle's lineup against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. Now, in my opinion, Liverpool, PSG, Barca, and Real Madrid have looked the 4 best teams in the world this year. One could argue for Bayern or Inter to be in over Liverpool, but take away the cup failures, and Liverpool have had quite the dominant Premier League season. Now let me ask you, if you take Mbappe or Vini, Rafinha, Dembele, or Salah off any of those teams, are they still not top 4? You could argue Liverpool and PSG drop from maybe top 4 to maybe top 10, but the point is that their teams are still absolutely elite with or without them. That doesn't diminish their greatness, but what it does do is free them up for more 1v1s, more elite teammates giving them service. Their teams have 50% or more ball control the majority of their games, and their elite teammates are finishing off their passes and generating also more penalty kicks for them to take. Now here's that picture again. Ask yourself, who had more help this game? And keep in mind, Isak had a questionable offside goal ruled out as well. Isak, to me, has only one world-class teammate in Bruno Guimaraes. While he wouldn't start for any of these other teams, he would get significant minutes. Anthony Gordon is certainly also an excellent winger, but I would argue he wouldn't start or even really get minutes for any of the other teams we've talked about. Look at Newcastle's bench. 2/3 of their bench wouldn't even start for a mid-table team, to be honest. I would argue if their depth improved, they'd be challenging for second place in the Premier League this year, with Isak being their only superstar. So if you factor all those things in, this is why I believe Alexander Isak is the second best attacker in the world after Kylian Mbappe. What does he have left to prove? Have success with Sweden in the 2026 World Cup and challenge for the Golden Boot. That would really elevate his reputation. And lead Newcastle to the Champions League and for sure make some noise, maybe even get them to the quarters. If he ever moves to Arsenal, Real Madrid, Barca, or Bayern, watch out, this man's coming. Thanks for watching, guys. In my channel, I like to look at players and factors that are flying a bit below the radar and use it to help all of us become more nuanced fans. In addition, I also do videos about the mental side of sports, which is so important but is so often overlooked. I'm also a sports and fitness trainer. I'm going to be posting some shorts about training, so if you like this video, please subscribe. I could really use the support, help me grow the channel. Leave a comment and a like if you can, so I can continue to work on my craft and spend time doing the research and put out more content for you guys. Thank you for your support. Much love and God bless.
Have you mastered the Geordie accent yet?
Quite well, I think.
Yeah. Can you give us any Geordie to that camera, YI man?
Ari Orchid.
Love it.